Welcome. My name is Kasia Kaminska. My friends call me Ka. And this is the Feeling Path Illuminated. Last night I had a dream. We were walking through an old house. It wasn't ours, but it felt familiar. And I knew you wanted me to get going, to gather the things I needed and then to go. Because lately, all the houses we've been in have been falling down. And much of the time we're running from something that we can't explain, but we can feel right behind us. But you were patient with me, and I took my time in the attic. Because in a corner, on the little outreach of wall, there was a photograph of my old life. And I couldn't help myself. I had to stop and look inside. I saw my children when they were little. All of them sitting together like we used to. All of us together again. I saw their little faces and upturned smiles, and my heart melted at that feeling. But you called me. We have to go. And it took everything I had to turn my eyes away from that moving picture. Because the longer I looked, the more it animated. And the more I felt like I was right back in that moment. Then I woke up. And today, as we stand in this collective energy, so I'll just say it plain. When you step out of bed and you put your feet on the ground, there's a feeling already all around you. And maybe you brought some of it with you from whatever dream you were having, or from whatever thought or event you're still processing in your mind and body as you slept. From the day before or the day before that, or God knows how long you've been holding on to it. But you bring that with you, yes, but you also wake up every day into a collective energy, and that feels like something. And a lot of the time, you really do believe that you're alone in your experience. And so when you wake up in the morning and you already have a little bit of that old weight from your old past, from the stuff you had to go through that you're carrying with you, when that's already on your shoulders before you even get out of bed, then it's easy to fall into that collective feeling and take on the whole thing like it's yours. But we just want you to remember something and to keep it in the background as you move in the moments of your life, as you go from room to room. And just please understand there's so much more happening than just that outward level of experience we call quote-unquote real life. Because even in our own relative seeable dimension, what you would call your everyday life, you'll notice that there's lots of things happening that you're not aware of. And they are just as relevant and just as meaningful, and most of the time are impacting your life in bigger ways than you realize. So today, as we woke up into this energy and we feel this relative weight all around us, we want you to know that you're not alone in how you feel, and that we really do feel along with you. And in the same way, get up every morning and have to face these whoosh emotions that then we have to transmute through our own life in the ways that we do, in whatever ways work best for you, that ultimately move that energy and dissolve it and transmute it into a harmless vapor, something that has no impact on any of us. I pulled some cards for you because I want to give you a sense of what we're all going through collectively and how that might be impacting you. And in the now moment where we currently stand, I want you to know that as before, we are in this amazing actual place where the potential of this moment is far exceeding your ability to even believe in it. And it's interesting because a lot of the resistance we're facing is that most of you, a lot of us, are actually uncomfortable in some ways when things are just too good. So if someone is promising you wonderful things, there's a part of you that's probably going to be resisting just on that very basic level because there's a part of you that doesn't believe it. And chances are the reason you don't believe it is because you're still doubting yourself. And what you doubt, you live without. It's a beautiful line, and one we must remember and keep in mind. Because we are actually moving into this grand state of expansion and inspiration. We are getting a universal thumbs up more of the time than not. And we're actively moving towards this connection and almost like a romance with life itself. But I could never convince you of something that you yourself aren't willing to see. For the eyes will only see as far as the mind will allow them. And we must move past this turbulent thinking and this need to hide behind our masks and accept the darker parts of ourselves, and in that way, once and for all, release them. Because it's always been up to us. Because individually, we move a collective whole. And this idea that we don't matter is an artificial construct that was never true to begin with. But if you believe it, then you'll live it. Because what you believe, you also receive. And so in every direction you can make an equation, and in that way find your balance. So we want you to know that you're actually rising up, and we all are, that we are coming to an end of conflict both within and around us. But it's a process, and in all things we are reminded that there is always a better choice, and that the positive changes we are so desperate for are on the other side of that better choice. A choice that is led by compassion, a deep inner standing of those around you, and knowing that none of us are bad, all of us are hurt. Too many of us have been traumatized, and it hurts the heart to even say it, but this is the thing we have to move through in order to move into a new world. So I'd like to share with you now an excerpt from Neil Donald Walsh's book, Happier Than God. Nothing that has been inflicted on humanity by humanity is impossible for humanity to reverse. I believe that we will one day reverse the conditions of poverty and oppression and powerlessness and all the human-caused suffering of our species. And I believe that day will be coming sooner than later. I believe human beings everywhere are soon going to rise up and demand it out of a new sense of who we are and how we want life to be on this planet. And I believe that many individuals will lead the way in the spiritual revolution by demonstrating that it is possible to be happier than God. I'll go further. I think that people like you reading this book, listening to this book right now would be willing to help in beginning this process if you thought that there was a way to do that, well, there is. And we can do it together by doing it for ourselves first. So please join me now and tap on the side of your hand and repeat these words with feeling, because you matter. Even though I am holding on to my past, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I am afraid to believe in a better future, I forgive myself for that. Even though I am denying things about myself and my world, I deeply and completely love and approve of myself. You're doing so well. Now, on your forehead, I now release myself from holding on to my past. On the top of your head, I now release myself, and I release my subconscious mind from suppressing what needs to be revealed. You're doing amazing. On the back of your head now, I now release my subconscious mind from suppressing what needs to be revealed. Now, over the years, I now release my inner child from being afraid to move forward. Now, underneath your eyes, I now release my subconscious mind from hiding behind my mask. You're doing so well. Underneath your nose, I now release my body from holding all this karma. One more time, underneath the nose, I now release the collective body from holding all its karma. You're doing so well. Now on the chin, I now release myself from my aggressive non-movement. We're almost there. On your collarbones, I now release myself, and I release my body from feeling afraid of the future. Now, repeat with feeling, I am safe. We are safe. I am confident. We are confident. I am evolving. We are evolving. I am rising up. We are all rising up. Take a deep breath. We love you.